On today's show, you guys already know what it is, the Kitty G. We're going to be talking about William Saliba pocketing Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe doing his thing over there in France, killing it for Marseille. You already know my young gun doing his thing. The next big thing. Arteta spoke about some of the players. He spoke about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's form and said how Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's form has changed for Arsenal recently, and he's loving it. Also, Mavropanos seems to be exiting the club in the near future, maybe in January. Now, let's talk about the man himself. Ramsdale could be England's number one very, very soon. We might have to wait and see. He could be the number one for England. Not only the number one for England, but the number one for Arsenal. And he's doing his thing for Arsenal. So, Gareth Southgate, open your eyes. Sebastian Haller has been linked to Arsenal today. We're going to find out if this is fake news or real news. Also, we're linked to, once again, William Carvalho, who's over there in Spain playing for Real Betis. So let's get started on today's show on EGTV. Welcome, everyone from Arsenal Inside Out on EGTV, on YouTube, and on Twitch. Do me a favor, guys. If you're watching on Facebook, come join us on YouTube. The video will be ending now on Facebook. Yes, thank you. Now, let's continue, guys. So today we're going to be talking about a bunch of things. The Leeds game's coming up soon, too. So we're going to be doing a separate video for the Leeds game. I won't be doing a watch-along for the Leeds game, but I will be doing a build-up to the game itself, starting at 7 o'clock till 7:45, just before the game begins. I won't be able to do a watch-along today, but let's get started on today's show. There's a lot of things that we need to discuss. First thing we need to talk about is a certain William Saliba and his performance. William Saliba in his performance in that game versus PSG and how he has looked over there in Marseille. He has absolutely teared it up. William Saliba has been one of the best Arsenal players on loan this year. Him and Guendouzi have been tearing it up. You also have Mavropanos, who's been tearing it up. A lot of our loan players have been doing very well on their loans. And you know what? It's a good thing that we did not put a sell-on clause or anything like that on Saliba, because believe me, Marseille would be chomping at the bits to try to buy this kid. He's absolutely performing out of his skin. And William Saliba is one of the first things that we're going to have to discuss today. So let's get this show started. You already know what it is, guys. EGAL on EGTV. I hope you guys are well. Hope everybody's doing well in the chat. Hope everybody's doing well over there, wherever you are. Tell me where you're from right now. Tell me wherever you guys are in the chat right now. Let me know where you're from, where you guys are based in. I'd love to know more about where all the viewers listening from. But let's get started with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang as the first person. We'll get started with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. I know I said a lot about Saliba, but we need to get started with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Arteta spoke about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang quite candidly, actually. In a recent interview, he was speaking about how Aubameyang's form and how he scored 7 goals in 9 matches, how so far he's been one of the most integral players in Arsenal season. And we already know that. The captain, the highest paid player, the most important player at Arsenal right now, in my opinion, or one of the most important players. He's created 1.8 goals in each of his matches. At this point of his Arsenal career, he has been absolutely on fire. And Mikel Arteta spoke about how integral it's been that he improved. He has improved to a level where Mikel Arteta is saying he's improved so much that he's loving everything that he's seeing. He's loving everything that he's seeing. Yes, I will send the link in the chat, Sahal. Just 1 second. So he has absolutely loved everything that he's seeing from Aubameyang. Aubameyang is on form. He's starting to score goals. He scored a goal in almost every single game over the past couple of weeks, and he's been performing at such a high level that no one can ignore how good that he's been performing. Maybe not getting the 90-minute performances out of him, but he's constantly running, constantly showing by pressing from the front and doing his job as the leader of this club. And you know what? That is great to see. Arteta is loving everything that he's seeing from him, and he's loving everything around Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Now, ahead of this clash against Leeds, Aubameyang will most likely not take part. Aubameyang will most likely get some well-needed rest in this game because we will need him for Leicester and we'll need him coming forward. But Aubameyang will be missing some time at Arsenal with the African Cup of Nations coming up. and AFCON will still go ahead, even though that there was murmurings of it being canceled. It will still go ahead, as reported today. But yes, let's get it started, guys. You already know what it is. And Aubameyang and everything about Aubameyang. Let's be honest. We know Arteta appreciates Aubameyang. He wouldn't be his captain if he didn't, right? But the thing is, reports coming out of Arsenal is that he thinks Aubameyang, what he's seen from Aubameyang, like he's not seen this before. His words were, "What I've seen from Aubameyang do this season, I've not seen him do before. Apart from the goals, his celebration, getting the ball out of the net, seeing him when he runs, when he presses, his movement, the link-up play, how he's leading the game, how he's changing the rest of the game, how he's impacting the game in other areas, not only just goal scoring, right? How he's combining with players." How he's just being such a good player on the pitch, off the pitch, in training, everything else. He's loving everything that Aubameyang is bringing to him, and he's saying being a human themselves and getting to know each other over the past couple months or a year and a half, they definitely built a relationship between him and Arteta, and Aubameyang has been integral to Arteta's side, and Arteta has acknowledged this recently in the most recent interview that he spoke about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I love to hear this because just recently people were saying Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang was finished. People were saying Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is not doing well, this, that. You know what I mean? But you guys get what I'm saying, though. At the end of the day, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is still an integral piece to this puzzle. And if we can keep him firing, that is the best thing for us. That is the best thing for us. Do you guys agree? Of course, we all know this. Aubameyang is integral for us going forward, and just as a leader in the club, being the captain, being one of the most oldest players, being one of the highest paid players of the club, he's integral to this team, and everything that he's done up until this point has been outstanding. If you guys don't know, he's already on 7 goals, 4 goals in the Premier League. Getting close to getting higher up that rank in Arsenal's goal scoring history. It's pretty impressive. But yeah, let's get into the chat. Man says Arteta out. Wow, tonight. Hit that like button, people. Slap that like button if you haven't already done so. I really appreciate it. Every single like, every single subscriber, every single one of you guys, I appreciate it because I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you guys, man. Let's get it. Cronky, Vinay. Sahal, the link is there. How do you want Lacazette or Eddie? We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into who we want to play today. Hope you're well, Tim. Big up, Tim. Big up to all the people in the chat doing their thing. Yes. So yes, after talking about Aubameyang, we want to talk about the Arteta. Arteta spoke about the crowd and how important it is to have a good crowd, have a good base, have a good amount of people at the games doing what we need them to do and getting everyone excited. So he spoke about the crowd, and he said that how important the crowd is and how important it is to have a good crowd at the games. You know what? We know this. We already know it's important to have a good crowd. He's not telling us anything that we don't know. But one thing we do know is that he appreciates that the fans are backing the team. He appreciates that the fans are backing the club. He appreciates that the fans are backing everybody. The fans are getting into the games. The fans are what's driving the team. Arteta specifically said, let me get it up. Arteta specifically said that the fans have been integral. The crowds have been integral to how we have been winning these games and getting back in the game, especially against the game against Crystal Palace. Lacazette, and how Lacazette got the crowd into the game, really helped the team push on and get them the much needed point versus Crystal Palace. It wasn't the best performance, but he did say he appreciates what the crowd is doing and how they're cheering on the youngsters and how they're getting everybody involved in the game. Absolutely loving every second of it. Arteta has been mentioning that, and he's been saying this for a couple of weeks now. He generally thinks that the crowd is the reason why we've been doing as good as we've been doing. And with the recent upturn in form, he gives all the credit to the crowd. He gives a lot of the credit to the crowd. But yeah, let's get into let's get into the next topic. But before we do that, let's just get into some messages also. Let's see what you guys are saying over there in the message boards. My guy's saying Leeds marching on together. We're gonna talk about Leeds later, my friend Tim. Tim, we're gonna get into Leeds. Semantic FC saying big up Tim. Bless, salam, brother. Yes, I'm good, yo. How you doing, man? I'm doing good, man. Do me a favor, guys. I will no longer tolerate any type of abuse or aggressiveness in the chat. If you guys are moderators and there's some people in the chat that are being abusive, aggressive, or absolutely out of line, just block them. I don't have time for this no more. Over the past couple of weeks, I've been receiving so much hate messages, emails, tweets, everything. It's just absolute BS. I'm done with it. Do me a favor, stamp that shit out for me. I don't want to see none of that ever again. Personally, it's just gone too far at a certain point. Right, it gets too much at a certain point. But yeah, let's get into Alexandre Lacazette. So Alexandre Lacazette, we know his situation. We know his situation at Arsenal. We know that his situation at Arsenal is that his contract will be running down and his contract will be up come the end of the year. So we already know this. So what are we going to do with Alexandre Lacazette's situation? How are we going to fix Alexandre Lacazette's situation from here on out? Right? How are we going to fix it, guys? This is what Arteta was saying. Arteta was saying that he's integral to our team. And when asked about his contract, he says, I don't know. He doesn't want to speak about the contracts at the moment. He doesn't want to get into those details. He doesn't want to get into stuff about the contract at the moment. He just wants to play every game, go game by game, and worry about those things later. At the moment, Lacazette has come back into the team after scoring against Crystal Palace and doing what he's doing now. Lacazette has become an integral part of the team. And guess what? One of somebody who spoke about Lacazette is actually a player that we will be playing today. A player that we will be playing against today recently spoke about Lacazette's situation. So let's get into what Calvin Phillips spoke about Lacazette's situation. Calvin Phillips, yes, the Leeds midfielder Calvin Phillips has spoken about Lacazette's situation, and when speaking about Lacazette's situation, this is what he said. Calvin Phillips, when talking about Lacazette, said that Lacazette is a great player, Frenchman, approaching the end of his stay at. Of course, just laying it down, approaching the end of his stay at Arsenal, he would be out of contract and could end up to going to Newcastle. But Calvin Phillips was heaping his praises to Lacazette and saying how good of a striker he is when talking about Lacazette. I don't know why Calvin Phillips was necessarily talking about Lacazette, but he's an absolute baller himself. He knows that. And let's get into let's not worry too much about that. We already know Lacazette's a baller, Calvin Phillips a baller. They're just appreciating each other. But yeah, Calvin Phillips did speak on Lacazette. He did talk about Lacazette and the whole situation around Arsenal. I'm just going to pull it up right now, what Calvin Phillips said on Lacazette, right? Now, this is the exact quote. Let me get it up right now. Okay, so here's what Phillips said.
Phillips said, I have always been a big fan of Lacazette. I think he's a great player. He would be an amazing signing for Newcastle. He needs to play week in, week out. I get the impression he feels he is not loved at Arsenal. Perhaps he feels he does not get the credit he deserves.
And then this is what else he said about Lacazette.
In my opinion, he is a class player. If you played him week in, week out, you would reap the rewards. If I was a Newcastle fan and Lacazette came in, I'd be very excited. I know he is blessed with a lot of talent. He'd be a great signing in January.
So Calvin Phillips was speaking on the possibilities of Lacazette going to Newcastle in January. I don't know how this ended up happening, but it's quite interesting to see Calvin Phillips as he's not even an Arsenal player, speaking on a situation that really doesn't have much to do with him. I don't know why he got asked to speak about it, but it's just, I don't know. It's just made the news. I'm bringing you guys the news, letting you guys know what's going on. Personally, I don't think Lacazette will end up going to Newcastle. If he does end up going to Newcastle, it'll be quite interesting to see how he does over there. I think he would absolutely smash it in Newcastle. But personally, I don't want to see him make a move within the Premier League. If he leaves Arsenal, I want to see him leave the club and the country. I don't want to see him playing against us week in, week out. It would be quite difficult to watch a player that we've had in our ranks performing well for a Newcastle side that's really invigorated. I personally would want to see him out of the whole country. I don't want to see him. I don't want to see him. Nah, I just don't want to see him in the Premier League. If he leaves the Premier League, let him leave the Premier League full stop, in my opinion. Let him leave the Premier League full stop. Because if he stays in the Premier League and he completely destroys us week in, week out, that will suck. That will absolutely suck. But yeah, he could leave in Jan. And that's just more of what they're saying, that he could leave in January and could go to Newcastle. And Calvin Phillips was speaking on it. Yes. But yeah, let's get back into your comments. What are you guys saying in the comment section? What are you guys saying in the comment section about this? We got Sean in the house. Big up Sean. Sean doing his thing. Sean, I appreciate you, bro. My guy. Coin toss saying Leeds won't want Lacazette to put Bamford on the bench. I don't think Leeds want Lacazette. It's more, he was speaking about the whole fact that Lacazette could end up going to Newcastle, right? That was really what he was talking about. That's really what he was chatting about there. He wasn't really talking about the other stuff. But yeah, check it out, guys. Honestly, it's a crazy story. Like, I don't know why Calvin Phillips was asked to speak about Lacazette, but it's interesting to see. It's interesting to say the least, right? Now, moving on. It kicks off at 8 o'clock. I thought it kicked off at 7:45. Am I tripping? I'm tripping. I thought it clicked off at 7:45. Why are we selling Lacazette for Calvin Phillips? No, we are not selling Lacazette for Calvin Phillips. Calvin Phillips was speaking about Lacazette going to Newcastle. I don't know why. Don't ask me. I don't know why he was asking about that. But Sahal, what's going on, Sahal?
Yo. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro. I can hear you. Yeah. You know what? You came just in time. We're going to move the topic on now to we're going to talk about Lacazette right now, possibly going to Newcastle. What's your thoughts on that?
This January, I don't see it. I don't see it. Why would they buy? I don't see it happening. Because if you're Newcastle, why would you buy Lacazette? He has a lot of wages. He's in his last year in his contract. It makes no sense for Newcastle to do it. And he doesn't score a lot of goals as well. So if you're Newcastle, why do you buy someone that expensive with that much wages? It's on like 200k a week. You can buy someone better than Lacazette for that kind of wages.
You know what? I think Newcastle won't. I don't want to see Newcastle buy Lacazette. Personally, I want Lacazette to leave, right? I want Lacazette to leave. I don't think he's going to be. Oh, yeah. So the game is starting at 7:45. Coin toss. It's starting at 7:45. That's when the game starts. It doesn't start at 8. It starts at 7:45. Yeah. So I don't think Lacazette is going to be sold to a Premier League team. I think he's most likely going to leave the Premier League full stop. I don't see him staying. I don't see him leaving Arsenal to go to Newcastle. It just doesn't make sense, does it? Does it make sense to you?
I mean, if he was offered a lot of wages, maybe, but
no.
Newcastle, why would you offer him 200k or 300k a week? Why? It makes no sense if you're Newcastle. Unless he was, maybe if he was banging in goals week in, week out, then maybe, yeah. But Lacazette has been below average since he came. He's been average since he came for Arsenal. Since he came to Arsenal, he's been average. So why would you spend that much money on wages and everything?
He's still a level above everything they have. You have to look at it from their perspective also. But yeah, we're going to change the topic quickly to the next topic. What's the likelihood of Ramsdale kicking on and playing for England? What do you think about that? I think Ramsdale could be. He could end up becoming England's number one. Ramsdale has recently spoken, Sahal, about possibly becoming England's number one. He spoke about it, so we need to speak about it now. He was speaking about the fact that he could see himself one day as England's number one goalkeeper, England's number one option, England's number one or future number one. That's what he was speaking about. And when this topic came up, it was recently when he was, I think, at Wimbledon on his thing. So Ramsdale is seeking an opportunity to start in World Cup 2022. He wants to start for England. He wants to push on and become a possible number one for England. And after getting a late call up to go to the Euros, and he was also in the team that went to the final at Wembley against Italy, where they lost. So unfortunately, they lost. But he will try to push on and push Pickford out of his spot and take that number one spot. And the fact that he's playing at Arsenal week in, week out, the fact that he's in the spotlight week in, week out, the fact that he's performed so well, his distribution is out of this world. What is the likelihood of him becoming England's number one? Guys in the chat, let me know. Do you think Ramsdale could become England's number one goalkeeper by the end of the year? Soho?
Sorry. Basically, it depends. And I don't think what's his name, Gareth Southgate is gonna pick a new goalkeeper. I think it's gonna be Pickford number one. I don't think he's gonna pick a new goalkeeper. Because I just got a feeling he won't pick a new goalkeeper, because even though I think Ramsdale is better on his feet, way better than Pickford, I just don't think he's gonna pick a new goalkeeper. So if there's gonna be a new goalkeeper, number one, I think it has to come with a new manager for England. So it might not be this World Cup, might be the one after that where he has a chance to be number one goalkeeper. Because I think he's not gonna be. I don't think he's even gonna take Ramsdale to the next World Cup, because it's not good to take good. Your backup goalkeeper always in World Cups are like average the backup goalkeepers. I think the only reason Ramsdale was called because Nick Pope was injured. So that's the only reason, if you be honest to yourself. So I think this summer it's going to be something similar. Gareth Southgate is not going to pick. He's picking Pickford, even though Pickford is rubbish on his feet and hands. I think distribution is his weakness, right? But I don't see it happening. Honestly, I don't see it happening. Not with Gareth Southgate as manager. Maybe someone else, but we see.
I think personally, Ramsdale and Pickford, Ramsdale could push him out and take that spot this year, because Dean Henderson is not getting game time, so he's not going to push him out. Burnley are playing like trash, so Nick Pope is not going to push him out. The other guy got kicked off, right? Kicked out today. Kicked out. He got kicked out because he what am I talking about? The guy, West Bromwich Albion, they got bounced out of the Premier League last year. So because they got bounced out of the Premier League, I don't know if he's going to go with the championship goalkeeper to start in England's World Cup games. I personally think Ramsdale has the best odds out of all the other keepers to take Pickford's spot as the number one keeper for England. And I do think Ramsdale will become England's number one keeper by the end of the season. If he can.
Igal, the question is, Igal, it's not about performance with Gareth Southgate, because there's plenty of players in the England squad that made it previously, had nothing to do with performance. So the question is Gareth Southgate going to start him? Not does Ramsdale deserve to be started ahead of Pickford. The actual question is, will Gareth Southgate pick him over Pickford? Pickford is number one. I don't think even Ramsdale will be number two, to be honest. I think it'd be...
Who's ahead of Ramsdale?
No, because he doesn't... Gareth Southgate, he doesn't do based on performance. Look at the last England squad, right? Sancho was in it. Sancho's been rubbish since he came into England, into the Premier League. No offense to Sancho, but he's not been that great. But he's still making the squad. So it has nothing to do with performances, 100%. Right?
I agree with you.
For me, it's gonna be Pickford, someone else, and if Ramsdale's lucky, he'll be the third goalkeeper again. If he's lucky, I don't see no way, no how, unless there's injuries, right? So except for injury to happen, that's the only way, yeah, that he'd be number one. If Pickford gets injured, then there's a competition. Then, if Pickford gets injured, there's a competition between the rest. And he might win out. But unless there's injury, I think it's going to be Pickford for the next World Cup. Until he gets fired. Until Southgate gets fired, Pickford is the number one goalkeeper. I don't think that's changing.
Okay. Let's talk about the next story. The next story, guys, is William Saliba. But before we do that, Ramsdale got relegated twice, and this is merely a purple patch. Ooh, that is harsh. It depends how Arsenal does in the league. I agree. Let's talk about William Saliba. Let's talk about William Saliba pocketing Messi and Neymar, bro. What are you saying? What do you think about Saliba?
Bro, what did I tell you, man? World class potential, man. World class. I've been telling people for time this guy is it. Arteta, he doesn't want to give him a chance. I don't care what people say. I don't care. There's no evidence, right? He doesn't want to fight for his place. I think it's the opposite. I think Arteta doesn't want to give him a chance because pre-season he was here. He didn't give him a chance at all, right? Why did he not give Saliba a chance? Not even one game in the preseason, Saliba was not started. I think it's the opposite. I don't think Arteta likes this guy, personality-wise. And I tell you why. The Guendouzi thing is exactly the same thing. He did not give Guendouzi another chance, even though Granit Xhaka did something worse, in my opinion. Huh?
Can I just stop you
there?
The
picture's there. Let me just finish quickly.
Okay.
Remember Granit Xhaka, he did a red card against it was Brighton when Guendouzi got sent off, right? But Xhaka did worse, for my opinion. I can't remember when Xhaka got sent off, but Xhaka got sent off. He flipped off the fans. Yeah. That was way worse than what Guendouzi did. Guendouzi tried to back up his own teammate, and he got kicked out of the team for it. Why would he apologize? Why would you apologize for backing up your teammate? I don't understand, right? So my opinion is, I think next summer, if Arteta is our manager, right, I think Saliba will be sold or loaned out again. In my opinion, Saliba will not sign a new contract if Arteta is the manager because Arteta will not give him a chance. My opinion. So I think Saliba's world-class potential, world-class talent, and that's why I don't want Arteta here. I'm still Arteta out.
Let me just stop you there. Sahal. I'm not talking about Arteta. Saliba's last-ditch tackle on Kylian Mbappe. We saw him go for the ball, not get a yellow, not get a red, not get sent off, not do anything. Just tackle the ball. Absolute class performance in a 0-0 draw versus PSG. The man dominated that game. Absolutely dominated that game. Man amongst boys. If you guys seen the beautifulness of what he was doing that day, he was dominating that game. It's not just his last ditch tackle. He had one-on-ones where they're dueling between him and Mbappe. There was moments where he was literally just pushing off guys, bodying them, getting their body in front of them. He's physically ready enough, I think, to play in the Premier League now. I think he's ready to do what he needs to do to get back in this team when he comes back. Saliba, I've joined the Saliba hive. I think Saliba's future at Arsenal is still here. This whole thing about free Saliba I think it is a myth. I agree with semantics. I think Arteta and the club have a plan for Saliba. I think they have a direct idea how they're going to play him, how they're going to use him when he comes back. I think they already know what they're going to do with Saliba. This whole thing about him going to France was just to get enough games because he's not. One second, let me finish. He's not played a full season under any team. He's never played under any team and had a full season. So Saliba, what he's been doing over there in France, he will be given the opportunity to come back to Arsenal and do it because he still has enough years on his deal where we don't have to worry about him leaving. We still have enough years on his deal where we can still mend the relationship. I get that there might be relationship issues, but personally, I feel like it's strictly about getting game time, strictly about getting minutes. And he had an opportunity to get loaned to Newcastle or these other clubs within the Premier League. He did not want that. We wanted him to get game time. He's going to get game time. And William Saliba, this man is going to be a superstar one day. I hope it's at Arsenal. I hope he stays. I genuinely believe he's going to stay. People in the chat, let me know. Do you think Saliba is now going to be coming back to Arsenal to get an opportunity next season? Or do you think he's going to be sold? Because I believe There's no problem with having 3 starting center backs in a team where you play with a back 4. You can give them enough minutes. There's nothing wrong with that. Just look at Liverpool. They have good center backs. They have Van Dijk, who's good, Joe Gomez, who's good, Matip, who's good, Kanate, who's good. You can have center backs that are good within your ranks. Some people are already saying no. Sahal, what's your take on it? Saliba, where Arsenal?
Igal, first of all, right? I think you're changing history a little bit. Let me tell you first, right? When it comes back, he will only have 2 years left. 2 years in football contract terms is nothing, right? It's a reason why people always re-sign a 5-year contract for a reason, right? There's a reason for it because 2 years is not a long time, right? Number one, yeah, he came in, right? When Arteta came here, right? Gabriel had less experience in major leagues than Saliba did. So please explain to me why was Saliba loaned out and Gabriel wasn't then?
Because no, that's not true. So that's not actually correct.
Saliba had more time in France, which is a major league, than Gabriel did. Gabriel only had the season.
That's not factually correct. Saliba got injured and he had less games. Saliba did not even have half a season of playing football. Gabriel had full seasons of playing football. Saliba never had a full season without being interrupted with an injury or COVID or something. Saliba never actually played a full season yet in his career. He's not played 30 games once.
If you're talking about the injuries things, I understand, but I'm talking about when they were there together, right? What was Arteta's choice? Arteta's choice was to play. To buy.
I hear you, Jobo says playing in the French league isn't exactly amazing. It's ranked 6th best league. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I understand that. And that's why I didn't want Saliba to be loaned out this summer. I thought he was good enough right now when the season started. Give him a preseason, let him start in the Premier League, get him that experience where he needs it, right? The issue is right now we got Ben White, and I think this guy is 10 times better, not 10 times, but at least 5 times better. He has the physical ability that Ben White praised that he has, because Saliba is so strong, so physically dominant, and his aerial is great as well. I think he's our future centre back, should be our future right hand side centre back, next to Gabriel. But I feel like Arteta, I disagree with you with Arteta planning this. I don't think this was planned at all. I think Arteta came in, he doesn't like Saliba's attitude or whatever it is, right? He doesn't like Saliba for whatever reason. He decided to loan him out and see what he could do. And I think Saliba will be gone when he comes back next summer, if Arteta is still the manager. So I pray to God Arteta ain't the manager. So we got a chance with Saliba as a right-hand sided centre-back for Arsenal Football Club, because I think the club is more important than Arteta, and I think it's be Arteta's choice. And I'm scared Arteta will just loan him out again or sell him or whatever, which I don't agree with.
According to reports, Arsenal are intensively looking and could sell Star after holds grudge against Arteta. So Saliba might actually not be happy with Arteta, and he could want to leave. That you're right. I hear that. But this is also coming out of the Sun. The reports are coming from the Sun. So I don't know.
The Sun has been accurate with Arsenal news. Remember the Ramsdale thing, right? With the Rams lately, they actually have been really right about Arsenal news, especially. I don't know what it is. Maybe they got informant or whatever. But whatever the Sun has been saying lately with Arsenal transfer business, remember when we all said Ramsdale can't be Ramsdale anymore because Arsenal wouldn't pay the money. What did the Sun say? The Sun said we're gonna pay, right? So exactly. So I think the Sun might be correct again, because the Sun has been really accurate with Arsenal news for whatever reason.
I hear that. I'm just concerned. If they try to sell Saliba, it's going to be a big problem. I don't want to see them try to sell
What if
Saliba.
Arteta sells Saliba? What are you gonna say? Because I need the excuse right now because I need this clip right now. What are you gonna say if Saliba gets sold?
I'm already Arteta out, so what else do you want me to say? I'm just going to be
I
like,
don't
he's
know,
an
man.
idiot. He's an
Yes,
idiot if he sells him.
yeah, I'm gonna clip that. Don't worry. I'll
He's
save
an
that for
idiot
next
if he
summer.
sells him. Listen, Mavropanos now. What do you think about
Yeah.
Mavropanos? Let me just get the image up quickly. Mavropanos. So reports are Mavropanos is going to be sold. So this is what the report says. Mikel Arteta has allowed Mavropanos to leave on loan with the views to sell him on a permanent deal. He had over an Arsenal stellar. Wait 1 second. He has already handed over the Arsenal starlet to on his loan to Stuttgart, and Stuttgart have the opportunity to buy him this January by putting in the final clause. They just need to trigger the buy clause, and they can buy him, right? And at this point, it looks like Stuttgart will be buying him. They will be taking him on a permanent, and Mavropanos will be leaving Arsenal this January or this summer, depending on when they want to trigger this deal. So at this moment, it looks like Mavropanos' career at Arsenal is done before it even started. So Mavropanos is also another center back that we have in our ranks. Recently scored a screamer over there in the Bundesliga. I think Mavropanos has never been given a fair chance. Personally, I don't think Mavropanos is better than Ben White. I think that's kind of a little bit over exaggerating, my friend, right? He's a good player. I hear that. He's a really good player. I think he's a good player. I think he could have done a lot more for us, but we never really gave him the opportunity. I'm quite upset that we didn't give him the opportunity. I wish we could have given him a better opportunity to play. But for the money that we bought him for and we're selling him for, we really didn't make a loss. I don't know if we even we might have made a small marginal profit. Personally, these things happen. You just cut your ties. We already have Ben White, Gabriel, Saliba, and all these other guys. So Mavropanos can go, and we can now try to invest whatever money we get in the January or summer window into a midfielder, right? Arteta out, pathetic, weak mind, loser, a toxic manager with toxic fans. So everyone's toxic at Arsenal. Yeah, I know. Everyone is kind of toxic at Arsenal. What do you say? What do you say in Sahal on Mavropanos?
Oh, this is actually controversial for me. I say Mavropanos. I think I would keep him, and the reason is you're forgetting the backups we got. We got Mari, Rob Holding, and Chambers as our backups. And we remember what happened against Brentford City and Chelsea. These guys ain't good enough for me, right? And I think Mavropanos has good potential. He has shown it, right? I think it'd be a good idea to replace him with one of these guys that ain't good enough, in my opinion, in Mari, Chambers, or Holding. Like he'd be all right for good backup. He'd be a good backup for Gabriel or one of these guys, Saliba. He'd be a good backup for because our bench centre backs ain't that good. So I'd rather have him than Mari or these guys, really.
Okay, Cedric recently just said something on Sky. I just need to get this up on the screen quickly before we talk about the next topic. Cedric was speaking, and as you guys can see right there, Cedric said, Cedric was talking, and when he was speaking, he said, "Oh, there you go. Everyone that is here, everyone that plays for this football club is ready to play." So Cedric was talking about how everyone is always ready to play. Everyone is ready to play. Everyone's ready to play. So it looks like he's going to be playing today, and he's saying that everyone is ready to play. What do you think about that, Sahal? I think he's basically saying he's ready to play whenever called upon.
Bro, honestly, Cedric, I'll pack your bags right now because Cedric was really good for Southampton and he was actually all right for us sometimes, but he's been a liability. He's been a liability for us. He's basically been as bad as Bellerin, and that's saying a lot. Cedric, I think we need to buy. A backup right back or a right back in because we're relying on Cedric Chambers right now as the backups to Tomiyasu. God help us if we're relying on those guys. Remember last time? What happened when these guys were playing?
Yeah.
You forgot? These guys
Yeah.
literally were joke out there. I mean, Tomiyasu looks like a world-class player compared to them. I mean, it's just a joke, honestly, that these guys are still here. Cedric, who gave Cedric a 4-year contract? Someone, bro, I need to know. This is why I don't trust Edu, Arteta, and whoever's in charge of Arsenal Football Club. Because clearly, yeah, they do stupid things year in, year out. Cedric, Mari, all these guys, yeah, that are in this club still somehow, yeah. Who gave them the contract? It was Arteta was here, Eddie was here. The same people people give credit to are the same people that make mistakes. They're not perfect, and I understand sometimes you can make a mistake. Yes, but I feel like the Cedric one and the Willian one especially were so obvious. Willian wasn't that great, and Cedric was a okay. He was a decent enough right back for Southampton, but we bought him to start. Remember, because Bellerin ain't good enough as well at that time, so we actually bought him to start, not a backup. So for me, it was a complete and utterly flop as a signing, and we need to get rid of these players somehow, some way, loan them out. You know, take their wages off them or whatever, right? Yeah. So we need a new right back ASAP because if we're gonna rely on him, we're not going anywhere.
Okay, let's now move on to fake news, real news. Fake news, real news. You guys know how to play this game. Everyone in the chat, you guys now are the most important people in this whole video. I need you guys to distinguish if it's fake news or real news, because me and Sahal are going to distinguish if these stories that have come out today are fake news or real news. Arsenal have been linked to 3 players. 3 players Arsenal have been linked to. You can see it right there. So what you're going to tell me is if it's fake news or real news. I'm going to go through the players that we've been linked to. I'm going to tell you each player, the story about each player, and how we got linked to them. And then you're going to tell me what you think, if it's fake news or real news. So we're going to start from the top with the first player being Denis Zakariaa. Currently plays for Gladbach. Denis Zakariaa, we've been linked to him numerous times. He's also been linked to Manchester City. He's also been linked to other clubs. So Denis Zakariaa at the moment, they're saying that we are linked to him and we could be buying him this January. I want to know, do you guys think this is fake news or real news? Let me give you the story before you say that also, right? So let me give you the full story on Denis Zakariaa. What they're saying is Denis Zakariaa, according to reports in Italy, Denis Zakariaa is Man City have joined the long list of clubs that are keen to sign Mönchengladbach midfielder, right? The Italian publication has said that City's manager Pep Guardiola is keeping an eye on Zakariaa and is interested to bring in the Switzerland international to their team, which is out of contract in September. Who is currently out of contract at the end of the season, summer 2022. So we can negotiate with a free contract starting in January. Do you think this is fake news or real news? Sahal?
I think we are after a midfielder, but I will say it's a weird one because you said Italian, right?
Yeah, Italian publication talking about a Switzerland player who plays in Germany, and they're talking about.
I think it's a bit far-fetched because if it was Swiss outlets or a German outlet, it'd be a bit more credible. But I think definitely we're looking for a midfielder, a DM. I think he would be a great signing, but unfortunately, because of the uncredibleness of this report, I would say it's fake news. But we're definitely looking for a DM, I believe. Hopefully.
Okay, so Elijah James says fake. My guy here says real is real. If you don't like realism, reality, that are liars, toxic positives, fans willing to go with tag along with popular opinions. There you go. Fake club does not have ambition and does not know the European. Rico says good vibes. Yo, good vibes, Rico. Rico, tell me, do you think this is fake news or real news, guys? that we're linked to this guy. And then the next word we're linked to is even worse. The next one makes no sense. Yo, oh my days. But yeah, before I go there, tell me, guys. Sahal says it's fake news. Or Sahal, you think it's real?
No, I said it's fake.
I personally think
we're definitely looking for a midfielder.
I personally think we've been linked to him so many times that it has to be real. But the story that they're talking about is that we can get him on a free and Man City are in for him. I don't think Man City are in for him. I don't think we're in for him like that. I just think it's an opportunity. And I think there is a level of truth to it. But how much truth? It's probably that much. It's not that real.
Yeah, we're definitely looking for a midfielder. That's one thing that's credible. But I say everything else is a bit far-fetched.
Yeah, definitely. 100% Sahal. I personally think, bro, this is a stretch to say the least. They're stretching it. They're pushing it a little bit. Right? Then just so we know, just so I can tell you guys, the team news is in. So we're going to go to the team news in a second. But before we do that, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's just finish the story. William Carvalho is linked to Arsenal from the same publication, saying that Arsenal are looking for midfield support in January, and William Carvalho is linked to Arsenal. The 29-year-old Portuguese player has been linked to Arsenal numerous times under Arsene Wenger's era. Do you think we will get William Carvalho, Sahal?
Yes, again, I have to say no. I think this is fake news again, because it's the same one. I think they're just linking us with midfielders because we're definitely after a midfielder. That's one thing me and you can agree on. We are looking for a midfielder, and it looks like it's gonna be one of those, and it's gonna be one of those. We're gonna be linked with every single midfielder under the sun. Tomorrow you will see a link with Sahal from the local park, linked with Arsenal. I'm joking, but you know what I'm trying to say. They're gonna be linked with us with every midfielder, because Granit Xhaka's injured, and of course you don't want to rush him back. So I still think we need a midfielder definitely this January.
No, but I don't think we need him. You agree?
No, he's a DM, yes, but I feel like the reason I would say don't buy him, his age is 29, right? And I don't think he offers us anything different. I'd rather go for a younger profile player, a proper DM. There's a Portuguese guy. He plays in Sporting. I forgot his name, man. He plays DM. He played for Portugal. I'd rather take him. So if he is the type of player we're looking for, but I feel like we need to go a little bit younger, because even though we need a bit of experience in that midfield, yes, but we also need a bit of both. We need age. We need the right profile player, and I don't think he fits it, because he's big, strong, party kind of player in it. We don't need that. We need something different.
There you go. People in the comments saying we don't need him. Fat and lazy. Not the right age. This is like a Julian Drexler. Mainstream clickbait. I would like to sell Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Elneny, and sign one decent DM. As a Chelsea fan, you don't need a younger DM. You could get someone a bit with experience. Yeah, we could do with some experience. I hear that. I definitely hear that. I definitely hear experience would help us, and it would help us going forward and attacking defensively. It would help us a lot. But do we think we have the quality? Do we have the lack of quality in our team where we need to go for a 29-year-old in the midfield? Because in a couple of years' time, he doesn't fit the profile of what we would need. Don't you agree? I don't think he fits the profile of what we would be looking for.
Yeah, he doesn't fit. We got Xhaka, we got Partey that are aging. What this squad needs.
What is a Xhaka? What is a Xhaka?
What
is a Xhaka? Anyways, no. I'm making a joke. Relax.
Sorry. I was thinking, what the hell do you mean? I was thinking maybe you forgot about Granit Xhaka. But I was thinking, basically we got
one second. I need to change the topic quickly before we go too far. Sebastian Haller is the final guy we are linked to today. In fake news, real news, Sebastian Haller is the final link that we are linked to today. Thoughts, guys? Sebastian Haller to Arsenal. Is this crazy?
Fake news, man. Fake news. 100%.
Yeah, this is what they're saying. Sebastian Haller would be the Lacazette replacement. We would try to buy him from Ajax after he has scored 13 goals in 14 games this season.
Igal will be stupid to do it. We'd be stupid to do it because I tell you why, right? Ajax is gonna charge us like 30 to 40 million for him, and we saw what happened at West Ham.
Yeah.
So we're taking an ultimate risk on him. If we buy him, that's taking too much of a risk, in my opinion. 30 or 40 million, that's too much of a risk. We can buy someone else. We should have bought Edouard, to be honest, but we move on. I don't know who Arteta is gonna buy this summer, but I don't know who Arteta is gonna buy, honestly. But I don't think it should be Haller. It should be someone else because it's too much of a risk. I'd rather buy Isak if there's more money. If we need the big money, just buy the big money move in it if you have to. I don't know what Arteta is gonna do with a striker option next summer because I don't know who I would buy. I'm confused. Who would you go for?
Bro, we're going to talk about this on the next stream, okay? Because this stream is going to be ending right now. Everyone go check out the EGTV live for the Leeds game. I'm going to start that right now. This video is done. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Big up to the mods. Big up to the people on Twitch. Shout out to everyone on our Arsenal Inside Out on the YouTube channel. And you guys know, love and respect. Do me a favor. All 21 of you guys in the chat right now, smash that like button. And let's watch this community grow. Big up to the man. Why you guys? I don't know. I have no idea. This guy's a West Ham flop. I don't know why we're targeting him. It's just one of those links, bro. I don't believe it for 1 second. Believe me, I don't believe it for 1 second. I don't believe it for 1 second. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. That's it for today. Let's go to the other video. Let's go to the other video. You guys have yourselves a wonderful day, and I'll catch you guys on the Leeds watch along. It will be beginning just now, moments from now. You guys can join me over there, and I'll be live in a couple moments. Okay. Big up to the man. Have yourselves a good one, and you know what? Catch you guys on the flip side. Love and respect. 1 second. Let me just end the stream, and yeah, I'll catch you guys there. Okay. Peace.